What's up YouTube? This is Kellen with Dream Media Home Theater. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different video. We're going to be talking about the top 3 movies that you should be watching this weekend heading into Halloween. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so welcome back. This is not really going to be a video that will cover the movie itself, but basically it's going to give you my thoughts on the audio and video experience. I will give you my brief thoughts over the overall movie, but this is more going to be geared towards how the movie performs in my home theater based on the audio and video quality and what you guys would expect at home as well. So going at the top of the list, we have number 3. This is Matt Reeves' iteration of The Batman. This came out in February earlier this year. It's based on, well, I'd say the first incident that happens in the movie that Batman has to go investigate happens on Halloween night. So it's right around the time frame. It's not really a spooky movie at all, but there is some creepy elements at the beginning of the movie. So this one will be geared towards an everyone. So you don't really have to be a horror movie fan. What I thought on the audio, I thought it was very intense, pretty immersive. There's some good atmos scenes when Robert Pattinson is coming into the Batcave for the first time, when you see him driving in on his motorbike there with the bats scattering around the room. You can definitely have the bats flapping their wings and some of the screeching that's going on whizzing over your head. So that's a good atmos scene. Pretty much the whole movie, it is raining outside, so any of the outside scenes, you do have that ambiance of trains going overhead, rain coming down on your head. There's just I think that's what my favorite thing with Atmos is right now, and especially with the Trinov, the way that it's able to upmix and optimize the room through its calibration, is really just throw you into that bubble of the scene. You know, whatever the actor is experiencing on screen, it really throws you into the movie further with a good audio experience. And of course, the notorious Batmobile scene in The Batman with Robert Pattinson chasing the Penguin. It's not really a spoiler, but it is a very intense scene. You can really hear the growl of the engine from the Batmobile. Things are, whipping around, weaving in and out of cars, zooming past the cameras, panning across the left and right to left. Probably the craziest Atmos experience during that scene is when Penguin actually gets T-boned by Batman and the car is doing flips. And as it's doing that, it's zoomed in on Colin Farrell's face, the Penguin, and you can hear the sound, whipping around the room this way as you're looking at the screen. So you can hear the sound going underneath you, over top of you. Really creates a crazy experience that if you were in that car going end over end, that's what you would hear. So I think the audio for me, out of 10, is going to be an 8.5. I think it's not reference level, but there are some definitely the Batmobile scene I think is worthy. Maybe not so much a video, from a video perspective. We'll get into that here in just a little bit, but the audio I think is really good. And the movie overall, like I said, I think this is one of my favorite iterations of Batman other than the Christopher Nolan series. So definitely give this one a watch. Going into the video portion of the Batman, I have to say it's very stylistic. It's not for everyone. It was purposefully shot this way, so you have some where they took some sandpaper to the edge of the lenses to create some grittiness. Really the only thing that is tack sharp is the very center of the screen. You start to lose a lot of focus throughout the outer edges. That's really not your projector. That's the style of this movie. It's really dark, really gritty. If you do not have a proper setup, it may not look good at all. OLED TV, Dolby Vision, the JVC projector I use does incredibly well with the black levels and contrast. The MadVR does incredibly well of tone mapping out the movie properly. So for me, I think it's a stylistic choice. I'll say it's a little lower than you know, reference quality for sure. But from a stylist standpoint, I loved it. I thought it gave a different perspective to the movie. But overall, in terms of just video quality, I'm going to have to give it like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. Overall, The Batman is a great movie, and it's pretty much geared towards the family. It's PG-13. There is some language. There is a little bit of mild violence and things like that. But it's a good movie that won't scare the daylights out of you. And those are my thoughts on The Batman. You can pick this up on iTunes, Amazon, and I watched it on Kaleidoscape. Going into movie number 2, this is a streaming TV series. So not really a movie, but this is the new Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. Pretty dark, pretty scary. This is definitely for adults, but I thought the audio and video quality of the streaming series was very well done. It covered kind of just the absolute wackiness of this guy, complete psycho. But the show portrays some of the struggles of his victims, some of his childhood. It was shot very well. It looks great in Dolby Vision 4K. Everything's super sharp. It's a little dark in his apartment and things like that. But overall, the TV series, I think, is a good watch. But it definitely requires a stronger stomach. And if you guys are kind of squeamish to that, or if you're definitely not of age, do not watch it. So it's rated TVMA for a reason. But going into the audio and video, nothing too crazy. You know, the audio is not going to be reference quality. This is going to be just a overall nice watch in the theater. There is some ambiance. There is some dialogue that is clearly eligible out of the front. There's some different things. So the overall thing is going to be pretty low for the audio. So I'm going to give it like a 6.6 out of 10 for the audio. But the video and the acting overall is going to be top notch. So the video quality of this, I rank pretty high. Is very neatly done. The color grading, the sharpness all throughout. I think it's going to, it looks very good on a good television, JVC projector. Again, the black levels and contrast and some of the HDR throughout is really geared towards the darker end of the spectrum, but it does very well here. So I'm gonna have to give the video an 8 out of 10, and the overall series, I mean, it's just it's good. It's not gonna be too jump scary or anything like that. It's just very creepy. So give that a watch on Netflix.
Hello?
And finishing out the list, my number 1 movie to watch heading into Halloween weekend is going to be Barbarian. So Barbarian just released on digital, so you can pick it up on Apple, iTunes, all your Vudu, all your digital streaming services, besides Netflix and things like that. You would have to purchase this movie digital. I picked it up on Kaleidoscape to kind of get that lossy download and viewing experience, and it's also on HBO Max. So it did come out on Tuesday this week, so it's not been out long, but it is a must watch if you like scary movies. Justin Long is in this. Won't give too many spoilers away, but essentially a super creepy Airbnb gets overbooked by 2 people, and Justin Long is actually the owner of the property, so he kind of goes in because he's dealing with some issues. He's going to go in and see what is going on with that property, and literally it turns into a very hellish experience for the guy. So there's some crazy things going on with that house. Won't get into details, but starting off, the audio soundtrack for this movie, absolutely incredible. You have rain pouring down over top of you. You have some groans and screams right through the opening credits that are just filling the room, through the ceiling, through every speaker is firing. I mean, crazy immersiveness to kind of really get you spooked out in the very beginning. There's creaks in the floor, through the basement, the door shutting. At the very beginning of the movie, you have the lady that's in the movie. She's asleep, and the guy that's overbooked with her, she, you know, is totally creeped out, Well, her bedroom door opens and you hear a like kiss sound, and he's dead asleep on the couch. It wasn't him, but that kiss is just like so distinct coming out of the rear left surround. So the overall bubble and scare that the audio track gives you is really high up there. The Atmos track on this through the cloud escape is incredible. I'm going to give it a pretty high score. It's at 8.0 for me. It's got some low tones to it, some low heartbeat sounds. So it will work the bass a little bit, but the overall ambiance, the way it's throwing you into that house with all the wickedness that's going on, pretty spooky. So I think the audio track does a very good job there. In terms of video performance, it's very good. You have some daytime scenes. Most of it is shot in the basement of that house, so it is going to be fairly dark again. So nothing too special here. I'm going to just give it like a 6 out of 10. It is going to be super sharp. It is HDR, so it does look very good, just not a stunner. Nothing too crazy there, but it is overall a very spooky movie, and good to see a good horror movie that's come out as of late. As not been too many that have released over the past couple of years, but this is a unique twist, a different story. Some of the antics of the characters involved with trying to figure out what's going on, questionable as always, you know. But overall, I think it's a great movie, and if you're in for a scare, make sure to give it a watch this weekend. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed your top 3 movies that you should be watching heading into Halloween weekend. If you like content like this, let me know down in the comments below what movies you want me to review next. I will be doing more content like this on our channel, so make sure you're subscribed. But that's gonna do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a happy Halloween.